everybody. Welcome to the Minnesota Bound podcast, the stories behind the stories. I'm Laura Schara, your host for today, and we are getting ready for the holiday season here at Minnesota Bound, and I'm sure you are too. And 'tis the season to be shopping online, specifically this year with all that's going on. And we wanted to put together a podcast of some of our favorite local artists and gift ideas for you, for the outdoorsman or outdoor lady in your life. And we're going to give you the great 8 gift ideas for the holidays. And some of these artists have been featured on Minnesota Bound in the past. Some are local small businesses that we love to support. And some of these items you have also seen in the Minnesota Bound Log Cabin at the State Fair. So before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors. We have Connecticut, North Dakota Tourism, Minnesota DNR, and of course, Star Bank. We couldn't be here without them. Let's get right to it with our first of the list of great gift ideas. And just a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to spend some time with a gentleman named Lane Kennedy. Lane Kennedy is iconic in the world of photography. He is a National Geographic Society commissioned photographer. His photographs have been featured in the Smithsonian, Life magazine, Sports Illustrated, and he resides right here in Minnesota. And one of his favorite things to do, of course, is take photographs of the great landscape of our great state. And on the side, Lane Kennedy happens to be a wood bowl carver / maker. And this is just a hobby of Lane's. He said it kind of takes his mind off of his world of photography. And if you haven't had a chance to take a look at Lane's bowls, you can find them on his Instagram page, which is just at Lane Kennedy. Or some of his photography, you can find it at lanekennedy.com. And his bowls, we did a story on his wood bowl making, and usually each bowl takes around 8 to 10 hours to create, and they're absolutely stunning. In fact, I bought one for myself. And they would make wonderful gifts for people. And the price range is anywhere, I believe, don't quote me, but anywhere from $80 up to $100, possibly $200 if they're really special. And he uses wood from fallen trees right here in Minnesota. Or if you had a special tree that was in your yard for years and it happened to, fall down in a storm, what have you, he would be happy to make a bowl for you and your family members. If that's also something that would be of interest to you. So again, his website is www.lanekennedy.com. You'll definitely want to check out his bowls and also check out some of his photography. He has a penchant for taking pictures of ice, and my goodness, his images are incredible. All right, moving on to gift item number 2 is if you have any hunters in your life that happen to be getting engaged soon or are jewelry lovers, you might want to give them this idea is antler rings. And there's a gentleman by the name of Johan, and his website is www.jewelrybyjohan.com. And he creates antler rings and other jewelry from if it's a deer that you harvested, if it happened to be your grandfather's big buck mount that you have on your wall that maybe it's time to create something else out of it. He actually makes and creates the rings right here in Minnesota, and they are spectacular. Not only can you have rings made from, of course, deer antler, elk antler, etc. He also makes rings from petrified wood, any other types of wood, dinosaur bone rings. If you're a fossil hunter out there, you might have some dinosaur bone hanging out in your house. And he also does really sentimental jewelry, including making rings and jewelry out of ashes of your past hunting dog or family pet. So they're beautiful. They're original. Each one of the designs is all designed with you and Johan, the jewelry designer himself. So you work together on what you want the ring to look like, and they are stunning. More information for his jewelry, again, it's www.jewelrybyjohan.com. Also, coming up, if you've been wondering what my dad has been up to, I'm going to give you a little insight on what he's been spending his time since he's semi-retired from Minnesota Bound. But before that, I would like to thank our sponsors. I want to talk about Minnesota's wildlife management areas are a vast array of lands across all of Minnesota. And these 1,440 Minnesota wildlife management areas are valued for not only wildlife, but Minnesota's outdoor recreation opportunities. For those of you that don't know, the Minnesota DNR maintains hunter walking trails. They plant food plots for wildlife and develop acres and acres of prairie and grasslands. To find out more about Minnesota's wildlife management areas, go to www.mndnr.gov/WMAS. I want to chat with you really quick about Connecticut drinking water. I have personally have the reverse osmosis drinking water system, and I've had it for quite a few years now. I totally love it. It takes out contaminants in the water, it removes chlorine, it tastes great. And also having Connecticut drinking water means that I use less plastic water bottles, and which is, of course, wonderful for the environment. So if you're looking for great drinking water, definitely consider Connecticut. And for more information, you can visit Connecticut.com to find a dealer near you. Getting back to the Great 8 list, my dad, Ron Schara, has been anything but retired, I'll say, since he decided to pass the reins of hosting Minnesota Bound on to Bill Shirk and myself. My dad has been quite busy, and in fact, he recently wrote a new book. The title of the book is Ron Schara's Minnesota, Mostly True Tales of the Outdoors. And he has been, of course, spending time in the outdoors for almost 50 years now. And he decided to wrap up all of those 50 years into one book of all of his outdoor adventures, and sharing some of his favorite stories of his lifetime, including, I believe, a couple stories of how he took my sister and I to the Boundary Waters on 2 separate trips, mind you, and how he probably was a little ill-prepared to have young girls with him out in the wilderness for so long, including probably not having enough bug spray for either of us. But there's lots of really fun adventures in his book, and that is coming out this spring, but I believe that pre-orders are happening now. And also, a lot of people don't know that my dad has an outdoor calendar. And in fact, he started this outdoor calendar business in 1987. That's how long it's been around. And it actually is a traditional calendar, and all the artwork in the calendar are Midwest artists, of wildlife artists, in fact. And each day of the months will have something unique in it. So, for instance, it will tell you about bird migrations. It'll tell you when to buy your hunting and fishing license, all sorts of really important information on types of food you can feed birds throughout the year, and also when sports shows and other events are happening. And people loved these calendars to put them up in their home, their cabin, ice house, deer stand, you name it. And for more information on my dad's book or the calendar, you can go to outdoorcalendars.com. Here's another one of my favorite local artists. Her name is Linda Larson. Her company is called Bird Dog Bow Ties. So if you're a bird hunter, or you have a bird hunter in your life that you're looking for the perfect gift, this might be the one. Her Bird Dog Bow Tie business was started because she is an avid huntress herself, and she actually makes bow ties out of pheasant and quail feathers and quite a few other birds, as a matter of fact. And her business supports several conservation and preservation efforts. So she donates back to wildlife associations after creating a bow tie from bird feathers. And you are welcome to purchase bow ties that are made from feathers that you deliver to her from a great hunt that you had out in the field. Or, of course, she has quite a few bow ties for sale that are made just from feathers that she harvested herself. So again, really fun idea, unique way. If you're dressing up for an event, if you have someone that's getting married and all the groomsmen are looking for unique ties, go to birddogBowties.com and take a look at all the beautiful things that Linda Larson has created. Here's another artist. Her name is Chrissy Johnson. We featured Chrissy on Minnesota Bound this past summer. Her company is called 213 Watercolor. And Chrissy grew up on Lake Minnetonka, spending hours on her grandfather's classic wood boat. And as all of us know that spend time on the lake with family, fishing, you name it, it really creates a lifetime of memories. And she decided to take these lifelike memories and put them onto paper. And she started doing watercolor paintings that consist of iconic lake memories and items such as classic bobbers, old boats, the classic life jacket, And she also does paintings of different lakes that are across Minnesota. So many people commission Chrissy to paint their cabin or home lake, and then they will actually have her put a heart or some sort of icon on where their cabin sits on the lake. So I feel honored. Chrissy, after doing the story about her on Minnesota Bound, she actually did a commission illustration of Bacon One, my old French bulldog that recently had passed away of cancer. And that now is a memory that I will have forever. So I highly suggest this is a great, great gift for lake lovers. And they're fun, they're whimsical, and they really capture a lot of beautiful memories. So you can find her at Etsy. She has a shop on Etsy.com. So if you go to Etsy.com and just search 213 Water, that will come up. And also, if you Google 213 Water, her name, Chrissy Johnson, and her company will come up so you can see some of the paintings that she's created. And of course, we sold her paintings at the Minnesota Bound Log Cabin at the State Fair last year, and they were very popular. All right, moving on, we're going to give you some tips on gifts for the wild game chef in your life. But before that, one more word from our sponsors.
Hi there, Ron Schara here for Star Bank. If you're putting your money into mega banks down the street, who knows where that money's being used? Bank locally. Keep your money local with a community bank that actually cares about you, your family, your business, and your goals. Check out the bank we use at Minnesota Bound. Try Minnesota's own Star Bank. You can find them online at starbank.net. When you call Starbank, you actually hear a real living person answering the phone. Starbank has 10 convenient locations around Minnesota to serve you and all the mobile banking products that you need to manage your money. Check out all that Starbank has to offer at starbank.net.
Outdoor adventure awaits in North Dakota. There are so many outdoor adventures to be had. You can experience world-class hunting in North Dakota. Of course, there's also other outdoor adventures from exploring North Dakota's Badlands on horseback, and also great fishing in the Missouri River system. So lots of outdoor adventures to be had, including, of course, world-class pheasant hunting in North Dakota. Visit legendarynd.com for more information. Back to gift giving. As we know, holidays are right around the corner. Many of us will be doing online shopping this year. And of course, we always want to support small businesses. And here's one of my favorite small businesses located in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's Golden Fig Spices. Now, if you have a chef in the family, a wild game chef, or even if someone is a baker or just enjoys cooking in general, this spice store is for you. I have to tell you that not all cooking spices are created equal. Spices traditionally last 1 year from the creation to the end. So that that is taking into consideration the shelf life it sits at the grocery store. So the fresher the spices, the better when it comes to the flavor profile of what you're cooking. And that's really important to keep in mind, especially when you're cooking wild game. You typically, to help it along, it usually needs quite a bit of brining or spices to make it really stand out the way it was meant to. And Golden Fig, again, a locally owned shop in St. Paul, Minnesota, they blend and bottle their spices in small batches weekly. So when you order spices from her, you're guaranteed to have the freshest flavor, and they really do make a difference. I purchased quite a few of her spices personally, and some of my favorites, I just want to give you a quick little list here of some of the favorites that I have tried from Golden Fig, one of which is the Sportsman's Rub. That is great for venison, goose, pheasant. It has some rosemary, basil, fennel seed, sage, and a little bit of orange peel powder. And I think that's the secret ingredient in that one. Also, she has really unique salts, smoked salt. She even has a chocolate salt, which is pretty cool. Maple pepper. Another one of my favorites is Sel de Cuisine. It has sea salt, rosemary, white pepper, chili peppers, but also a little tiny bit of cinnamon in there. And I love putting that on roasted vegetables. Again, it would be really great with pheasant, etc. So you can find her at thegoldenfig.com, and she can create baskets of vinegar, spices, and sugars. She also sells sugars for any of those who are bakers, vanilla sugar, chocolate sugar, you name it. And really great gift for those people who love to cook in your life. If you have any Swarovski crystal bling lovers out there, you want to listen to this one. Bradley Swanson is a bling antler artist. And Bradley has a really unique way of creating art out of shed antlers, or again, if you have any European mounts that you want to have blinged out, he's your guy. Bud Swanson lives right here in Minnesota, though some of his art and his antler art is really sold all over the country, including Aspen, Montana, you name it. It's become really popular out there. But I recently featured Bud in one of my articles for Artful Living magazine as centerpieces for an kind of, I would say, glam chic meets outdoors table. And what he does is he takes your antlers and puts Swarovski crystals all over the antlers to cover it. And you might think that, oh, that sounds pretty easy. But in fact, it can take up to 10 to 40 hours to put all of these crystals perfectly placed, mind you, on the antlers themselves. And what happens is, if you use this as a centerpiece, whatever, and you put a little tea light candle underneath the crystals, your table will just light up and shine. And they really are beautiful pieces of art. And again, another great way to take, an antler piece, or if it's a European mount of a buck you shot, great way to kind of stylize it and really make it stand out. I know a lot of ladies have been loving Bud Swanson's bling antler art. So you can find him I would say the best way is just by Google Bradley Swanson antler art, and you'll find all sorts of ways to connect with him. And last on our list for the great 8 gift-giving ideas is Raju's art. And Raju's name is Raju Lamashane, and he, on his bio, said that he was born in a beautiful village to a traditional Nepali family. And he moved here to the United States in 2005 and decided to kind of play around with some different artistic styles. And he found himself creating some really unique artistic pieces by using items that are typically thrown out, such as old newsprint, junk mail, plant and tree leaves, onion and garlic peels, and even used plastic bottles. And Raju's art creates all sorts of unique pieces of mallard ducks, deers, trees, songbirds, all out of old newsprint. And again, some other unique items. And you kind of have to see it to believe it. And when you go to Raju's website, which is dogreenart.com, you will find that he has some really, really cool and unique artistic pieces that you may have, some people in your life that love art and, of course, love wildlife. And the combination of these two is definitely a conversation piece to have in your house. Check out Raju's art at dogreenart.com. And that wraps up our list of holiday gift ideas from artists and small businesses that have been featured on Minnesota Bound. And we hope you have a happy and safe holiday season from all of us at Minnesota Bound team. And if you're looking for a list of these artists and small businesses, you can find those on the Minnesota Bound Facebook page. And that's it for this week. We'll see you back here next time. And in the meantime, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Connecticut, North Dakota Tourism, Minnesota DNR, and Star Bank.